Hey everybody. So I know it's the middle of the day. I usually don't get on live until late, but I'm feeling some type of way this day. I went on a walk. I feel really good. So let's talk about linear inequalities on today. Last night I had somebody jump on live and we were talking about systems of linear inequalities. And I was walking today and I said, you know what? Let's start at the foundation, because if the foundation is faulty, if you have cracks in your foundation, then you cannot build on a house upon it, right? So if your knowledge foundation is cracked, you cannot build a house of knowledge on that foundation. I said, so let's start from the beginning talking about linear inequalities. Whenever you have, there we go. So when you first learn about linear inequalities, you start with one variable. For an example, let's say you were given the equation 5x is less than 20, and you have to solve to figure out what x is equal to or less than, right? So if you divide both sides by by 5, you have x is less than 4. The way that you would show this on a number line is you would place your 4 here. You would use an open circle because 4 is not included in your solution set. Now it says less than 4, so that means that any value that is less than the number 4 is going to answer this linear inequality. This is the first thing we learn when we talk about linear inequalities, right, in algebra. So x is less than 4. We have an open circle. Open circle means that the point or the number is not included in your answers. That's all that means. This is going to make sense whenever you elevate into Algebra 2 and you have to deal with higher level math that talks about your asymptotes and talks about if the number is approaching and all of this stuff. You have to have your foundation solid so you can build upon it. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I said, let me go back to the foundation. So the first thing we talk about when we do linear inequalities is one variable. So we did one variable. Now we'll talk about a linear inequality in two variables, and we'll learn how to graph that, because we're getting up to doing a system of linear inequalities. And I'm literally only on here for like 30 minutes, not even 30 minutes, because I just really wanted to talk about this real quick. So let's say you have 5x plus 4y is less than 20. Now I have a linear inequality in two variables. So it's different. I'm going to have to plot this on a coordinate plane. I'm going to end up having to graph this because at first I only had one number that I had to give an answer for, but now I have one variable I had to give an answer for. Now I have two variables that I have to give an answer for. I'm not going to say specifically linear algebra, but it is a part of algebra. Hey DJ, I'm on here for just for a little second. I'm just on here for a little second, DJ. Hey y'all. I just jumped on here for a minute because my mind was going. But good to see you. I missed you last night. So now we're going to figure out how to put both of the solutions for x and y on this graph, okay? Because I'm going to put this on my YouTube later. I'm going to solve this. I'm going to graph it, so I'm going to write it like this. Y is less than negative 5/4 x plus 5. All right, so I'm not even going to put this one up here because it's probably going to confuse y'all. I had already switched around. So now I have two variables. And I need to put both of those answers. Good to see you. I need to have both of those answers on this graph. Is teacher work take? Oh, is it? Oh my goodness. So now I'm going to graph this on here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then my slope says to go down 5 and over 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to use a dash line because this is a less than symbol, which means my answers are not going to be included on that line. Okay, the solutions are not on that line. It tells me to shade below the graph. So this symbol tells me where to shade, and it also tells me the type of line, which is going to be a dashed line or a solid line. So this gives me two pieces of information, dashed or solid. Okay. Now, oh good. Oh good. I'm glad. That's awesome, everybody. Very good. Now we're going to upgrade to systems of linear equations. It's like 9th, 10th college. They do it in all levels of like algebra, a little bit of it anyway. F of x and x is just function. X is going to be your x coordinate, and then f of x is going to be your y coordinate. Okay, so real quick, because I'm about to get off here in a minute. I just jumped on here for a second. Now let's talk about a system of linear inequalities. Okay, a system of linear inequalities. What happens whenever I have two equations that I need to show the answer for? And whoever's doing regular linear inequalities is on my YouTube, okay? I'm going to give you two equations now that you need to graph, okay? So check this out. We have a system of linear inequalities. We have y is less than x minus 2. Y is, we're going to say, actually I'm going to do greater than. No, that's fine. We'll do greater than right here. And then we'll go greater than negative 1/2 minus 1. Okay. So systems of linear inequations. Oh, thank you. You learned this? Good. Now, we're going to plot both of these lines on both of the coordinate plane. Both of these lines are going to go on here. Okay? Both of these lines. Let's go ahead and do my first line, which is y is greater than x minus 2. So I'm going to start down here at negative 2. I'm going to go up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1, down 1 over 1, down 1 over 1. And then I'm going to dash that line as well, because the numbers that are on the line are not included. This says to shade above the graph. So I'm going to come up here and I'm going to shade above the graph, okay? For my second equation, I'm going to do the same thing. I need to graph this on here as well. I'm going to start at, I hate mixing my markers, but because I want y'all to get this, I'm going to mix them. This one says to start at negative 1 right here. This one says to start at negative 1. And I'm going to go down 1 to the right 2, down 1 to the right 2. But I'm also going to go up 1 to the right 2, up 1 to the right 2. And this is also going to be a dashed line. And this says to shade above. So now, your answer for this system of equations is going to be all of this right here. Wherever the colors mix, that would be your solution set for that system. I'm about to jump off here, Raha. I jumped on here one time and I'm about to go. Hey, Lisa. I just got on here real quick because it was on my brain. So my answer would literally be all of this stuff that's right here, okay? Because my colors are mixing. So this is where my answer would be. Okay, so wherever your shaded regions mix, that would be your answer. That would be your answer. And that's all I wanted to get on here and say. Like, I jumped on here for 2 seconds.